It was an unprecedented, if not entirely unexpected move. UNESCO recommended that an iconic World Heritage natural site be listed as in danger, mainly because of climate change. Were you surprised by that recommendation?
Not really. It was in the making for some time.
It was very clear that, based on the advice and the evidence of Australian science, the reef is in danger.
Adopt it as amended.
But a virtual meeting of the World Heritage Committee said no, after strong lobbying from Australia.
The words "in danger" appear nowhere on the final decision. I welcome the ongoing consultation with the technical experts.
We can clearly see there's a scientific reality and there's a political process going on in that decision.
What happens next is unclear, although Australia has only 6 months to report back to UNESCO, and business as usual may not be enough to stave off an in danger listing.
What we now have to do is make sure we do everything we can as a nation to also address the big challenge of climate change.
The scientific case for listing the reef as in danger has been decades in the making. 5 years ago, 730 revealed the extent of the devastation from one of the reef's most severe bleaching events. It hasn't been all bad news since then. A recent report from the Australian Institute for Marine Science shows good signs of recovery for some coral, although there are still major concerns.
That the predominant regrowth has been through the fast-growing weedier species. They're the ones that are also the most susceptible to the next climate change impact.
Peter Harrison's research demonstrates the extent to which scientists have accepted the reef has changed forever. He's trialling a type of coral IVF program, saving what we can of the reef from the inevitability of more bleaching events.
But these are really... I never expected to see this in my lifetime, but here we are with so few breeding corals left on some reefs that we now have to actively intervene to try and establish more larvae to regrow the foundation corals on those damaged reefs.
Despite this, the Australian government claimed it was blindsided by the attempt to have the reef listed as in danger, an argument mostly based on process rather than science. The government contends it should have been given prior notice and shouldn't be held responsible for climate change, as this is a global problem.
There are 83 properties on the World Heritage books that are rated as high or very high risk of climate change. 83. However, only one was chosen to be accelerated to an immediate in danger listing without consultation with the state party.
The debate creates something of a dilemma for the tourism industry, which hates its prized natural asset being talked down.
Certainly many operators are afraid that the debate around this issue now and possibly the listing on the endangered list of the reef would suggest to visitors that it's not worth visiting and that it's already on its way out, which it isn't, and it is still magnificent.
But the Queensland Tourism Industry Council head Daniel Geschwind says the debate has reached the point where the Australian government really needs to take the initiative.
We should use the weight and the might of the global opinion that such a great asset must be protected to also advance the broader climate change agenda.
The Environment Minister argues the World Heritage Committee should only focus on Australia's direct management of the reef, not its broader climate change policies.
Either this is about how we manage our property, in which case UNESCO acknowledges that management is exemplary, or it's about the global challenge of climate change, in which case we need a policy that applies equally to all properties.
I think to some degree it's semantics. I think we all know the science is clear.
The Queensland Government says part of Canberra's response to UNESCO should involve additional funding for water quality programs and renewable energy.
We've got a very clear agenda around our not only emissions reduction targets, but also our renewable energy targets. And we think that's really a key driver in trying to protect the reef going forward.
The greatest pressure on the Great Barrier Reef is global climate change, something that the whole world must address.
The world will be watching how Australia responds over the next 6 months.
I see this as an opportunity to face the threats that are currently upon the Great Barrier Reef. And most effectively in that is to take strong action on the causes of climate change.
Hi, I'm Lee Sales. Thanks for watching this story. If you'd like to watch more of 730's stories, they are on the left of your screen. And tap on the button below to subscribe and get the latest from ABC News.